got the recipe, and I kept receipts. The smell it covers me. Mods only weed. I just chopped the tree. I didn't stop to breathe. I couldn't stop my greed. It hit me like I'm Creed. No, the game was like yo. This is the Good Drugs Podcast Pod Chat. This is episode. Before I say the episode, fuck that. So I've been having an issue, dog. I know a lot of other people been having this issue with these motherfucking blunts. These leaf, backwoods, whatever you want to call them. Leaf, backwood, whoever you are that makes this shit. I know this shit be saying it's made in like Dominican Republic or some shit. I don't know. I don't care. Y'all need to get this shit right because these leaves has been extra flimsy for like the past, like, since the start of the new year. I just say since 2021. The whole year, all the blunts. I bought some Wild Rum blunts. The man advertised them and all. Not one dark one. It's not good out here, so fix that. But yes, this is episode 80. This is Bright Spots Out Collective. Shout out nigga AD. Yeah, shout out nigga AD. Bro just opened his new spot. It's called The Bay. Y'all should go check it out. Book your events if you're in Gainesville. All that good shit. And this is brought to you by Gorilla Mafia Family. And the production side is brought to you by Shooters Davis. And that's it. It's the Good Drugs.
Gorilla Mafia Family.
And we are black. Yeah, we black. My fault. We were just having a conversation. But if you got your blunt, your bong, your lighter, your bowl, did I say that? No, your blunt, long lighter, though. Your paper, your torch, your wax, your hash, your edibles, all that good shit that's filled with THC or THC based. Like that shit, roll that shit. Roll that shit, like that shit. Good drugs. Got time for that shit. Pass to the cameraman. All right. So touching on last part, I was talking about the whole inauguration. The Don is out. The Don is gone. So they had to find something else to talk about. They searching right now to find some other shit to talk about. They say the impeachment is going to take place the week of February 8th. Why are they still going through with this? Because they need something to talk about. So let's just run through what we're talking about today. So there was like an overwhelming amount of people that were on this whole racism wave on like both sides. Like whether you were the racist, which was like, all right, so I'm not for like hate people or anything like that, but I am for facts. So the facts was that there were a lot of people, a lot of white people on some hate shit. Like there were a lot of racist shit going on. So like whether you were on both sides, the racist, or if you were playing the victim, which, you know, we love to play the victim. There was like a huge amount of like, just a huge wave of this shit. So like almost everything. So I was just talking about the relief of accountability. So this just runs right into it. So I hate when I do that because I always get off track. So yes, there was a huge wave of almost everything that bad happened. Whether it be like getting the police called on you by like clicking out and shit. We went through that whole wave during like this nigga's presidency, or like police shootings or beatings. It all seemed racially motivated. And I think I talked about on the last episode, I did talk about the relief of accountability, which I just said. It just means that we had excuses for like a whole year, really 4 years. But 2020 specifically, because niggas was locked in their house the whole year, so we had like crazy excuses. And it's crazy how we was locked in our house, right? But events, they still found a way to have events happen for experiment, as I talked about in the last part too, how they use events. And well, since this is video, I can talk about the video on the video. I talked about in the last part how they use events and experience for experiment, and I just went through that whole thing. But yes, so we had a whole year for excuses of whether it be COVID or it be racism. We had a whole year to just have an excuse, because like a lot of niggas was out of jobs, so unemployment was popping off. Some niggas took that unemployment and didn't do nothing with it, or became a trap star or whatever. But that's besides the point. But so we had a lot of excuses, just a lot of excuses. But the point of me saying that is, what if I told you that none of these fucking excuses were valid, like ever, like starting from the civil rights movement and before that, the good drugs. So yes, yeah. What if I told you that none of that shit was valid, and more so like the the reason why certain people are ahead of other people has everything to do with favoritism and keeping one's culture intact. Like for instance, I'm reading a book called fuck. I wanna look over my bag, but I don't wanna look at my bag. It's called How the Jews Built Hollywood. It's actually called Empire of Their Own. How the Jews Built Hollywood, and it's literally giving, because I've read like hundreds of books, but it's literally giving you like the blueprint of how uh, a culture is built and sustained. So like there was just a point in time where, and this is just a little nugget out there. So there was a point in time where they needed funding because like all the Jews were moving from a certain art that used to be movies. The movies before movies, they were called some other shit, but movies before movies. So they seen these movies were taking off and shit. So they needed funding, so they went to the bank, which was the Bank of Italy, which is the Bank of America. So people don't know that Bank of America is actually the Bank of Italy. So there's no banks in America. But anyways, so the Jews, basically, they only hired each other, spent money with each other, and everything. So all your like top, Universal, Warner Brothers, any Fox, ABC, all of them are families. Literally, these are families. So yeah. So like favoritism is more so why the way, and keeping the culture alive is why like certain shit, why you may not get a job, or why like you can watch a Amazon, what's this shit called? It's a documentary on YouTube. It's like an Amazon empire, whatever. And they're basically talking about a culture. So like if you don't fit their culture, like a lot of people that didn't make it to where they are now didn't, because they just didn't fit the culture. It had nothing to do with whether they were white, black, or anything of that nature. So that's just another little nugget out there of I just was ranting, honestly. That had nothing to do with anything I was saying on my shit. But here you go, bro. My fault. But yeah, so yes, the fucking, as the all that like racism, don't get me wrong, racism, prejudice, all that shit, it's alive and it's alive and well, but more so like codes and shit, and why like we're behind specifically has everything to do with us not appreciating our culture, which we're getting back to now, but not appreciating our culture, and not spending money with our culture, shit of this nature. So it's not so much, again, it's not so much racism and all this other shit. The release for accountability is over with. Yeah, I'm just ranting now, but y'all get the vibes. It's the good draws. And my fault, I got a little off track because that's what I do. But that's called substance abuse. I just be ranting and shit. But back on track to what I'm talking about and shit. So there's a guy, he's a legend, fucking legend. He writes books. He I love when I can throw like references. And I was just telling the cameraman, Shooters Davis, I just like references. But there's not a cameraman, my fault. There's a fucking legend, a man named Thomas Sowell, that you should all go look up. He talks about discrimination and disparities, which I'm kind of touching on now, which is like the difference between disparities and discrimination, where people are higher up than other person, more so than disparities than discrimination, where like the government and shit talks about like right now they're talking about, it's a lot of socialism talk. If you don't know, like a lot of socialism talk, and I actually covered the whole thing of socialism, but there's a lot of socialism talk right now with like, and I think I touched on that when I was like, stimulus checks are good, but this is like gateway to socialism, where it's like, all right, we're gonna give everybody the same thing, and not have people working and shit of this nature. So that helps form more monopolies, where just like certain people own shit, and then you have more people that don't work. So, but you need people you're gonna need people to spend money so these companies can keep working. So therefore, you're gonna have to keep giving people money, and this creates socialism and and communism, because socialism and communism all runs together. So yes, Thomas Sowell, he talks about disparities and discrimination, and and it's more so just like, for instance, boom, now I can go back into my notes. So like, how is it that we were better off in like the 40s and 50s than we are now, even with like Jim Crow and all that shit about to come into play, and segregation and all that other shit into play? Because we were forced to spend money with each other, and forced to live only with each other, and forced to only empower each other. So therefore, that created a stronger economic system, even though they would tell us that it didn't. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that all the excuses and shit are not valid, because if we were better off in the 40s and 50s, we have no excuse now when we have more resources. So this is the Good Drugs Podcast, Pod Chat. This was episode 80. This was brought to you by Up South Collective. Shout out to nigga AD once again, and Guerrilla Mafia family, and Shooters Davis. And yep, y'all niggas stay up, be safe, but stay dangerous. It's the Good Drugs.